Hey guys, Monday. I had something pop up in my Instagram feed today. This is happening like on a weekly basis where everything I grew up loving is turning like 40 years old or right there around it. 85 was a big year for music. But today, something popped up. It was 39 years ago today. Bon Jovi Slippery When Wet came out. And, 39 years isn't really a milestone. But it popped up in my feed, and I got to thinking about it. First of all, it's always hard to believe. I always feel 10 or 20 years at most removed from all these memories I have. But then you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, no, it's closer to 40, which is funny. But anyway, so this record, Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. I was a Bon Jovi fan. I first saw them on the Dick Clark Show, American Bandstand. It was like Saturday mornings. These bands would like fake it. It was a track and they were pretending to play to Runaway. And so I guess that was 83. I remember I was in 5th grade the year that came out. And I liked that record. It had like 3 or 4 good songs on it. The self-titled Bon Jovi. 7800 Degrees Fahrenheit came out in, I believe, 85. Again, there we go with 85. And my mentor, Dave Thoner, actually engineered and mixed that record. And that was fantastic too. In and Out of Love, Silent Night, Hardest Part of the Night, Tokyo Road. I really loved it, but honestly, it wasn't really that big of a record, and it kind of felt like they had not lost their momentum. They were out as a headliner opening up for Rat on the Invasion of Your Privacy tour that cycle, and I remember just being so sick that I didn't get to go see that tour because I'm a massive Rat fan, and I loved Bon Jovi, early Bon Jovi. So anyway, 86 comes around. I remember when that record came out, I was in 8th grade. And it's funny, the memories you attach to music. I literally mark my whole childhood to what record I was listening to and what was out. So Slippery When Wet comes out in the fall of my 8th grade school year. And I remember getting the cassette, and I would take a boombox on the bus to out-of-town football games, and I remember we would listen to that record top to bottom. The whole record is phenomenal. I mean, Wanted Dead or Alive and You Give Love a Bad Name obviously have had maximum exposure, so they're a little hard to listen to at times. But man, Never Say Goodbye, Raise Your Hands, Let It Rock. So many good anthemic songs on that record. And it's funny, even as a kid that knew nothing about record production, nothing about songwriting, it was obvious immediately that something had changed with the dynamic of that band. Now I know it was like, oh, they found Bruce Fairbairn and his engineer, Bob Rock, and the songwriting of Desmond Child. And it was heads and tails obvious to podunk me in Nowhere, Texas, that something had changed. The sound of it, the songs, I was such a fan of it. But I can't believe it's been 39 years ago. It really just kind of blows my mind. And then, a couple of records after that, I loved New Jersey. It was probably as good a record, maybe in some ways better. Blood on Blood. I finally got to see them on the New Jersey tour in Lubbock, Texas, and Skid Row opened up. And they were amazing. It was like full of adrenaline. And they played every song on their record, and it had to have been at least 10 clicks faster. I mean, that's the one thing I remember about them opening up that tour. Full of energy, very rebellious, very fast. which I could kind of relate to because I always played way too fast as a drummer too. You get excited, you're young, you don't really know how to deal with that and control it. Certainly no one was playing with metronomes back then. Like, I wasn't even aware of a metronome available. If one would have wanted to do that you could plug in headphones, that wasn't a thing. If it was, it definitely wasn't a thing to anyone I knew, any article I read. But anyway, then they played, and you know, there was a video for Lay Your Hands on Me that was out. And so you kind of showed up at that concert knowing what to expect, but it was so cool to see a massive show crammed into Municipal Auditorium in Lubbock, Texas. It was a big memory. Absolutely loved it. Bon Jovi killed. I was still a fan. You know, the next record came out, Keep the Faith. It was good. I think Bob Rock produced it, who is like my lifelong hero of heroes with record production. I love him. Used to just buy records. If they said Bob Rock, I would just buy them because Dr. Feelgood, the Black Album, everything he did, Kingdom Come, self-titled. Man, what a record. So anyway, that was kind of like the last great Bon Jovi record these days. It was okay. A couple songs were okay, but very shortly after that, they lost me. I mean, and then especially once they did a country record, I just feel like any connection to 80s hard rock, he really tried to sever any ties, which, you know, I get it, especially in the mid-90s. That music was not cool. Everyone was running for the hills. But anyway, that's what was on my mind today on the drive home. Bon Jovi, were you a fan? Were you not? What did you like and why? I personally always loved the idea of keyboards in a hard rock setting. I always loved that. It fills in the gaps nicely. But anyway, hope everybody's doing good. See you soon.